What's up guys, it's your favorite Q coach. Welcome to another video where we take a look at our student before and after. So let's go do this thing. So welcome back to the channel guys. If you guys are new to Kiwi Golf Japan, we do a bunch of videos like this every single week. So you gotta go hit that little red subscribe button, leave a comment, smash the like button, share this video, and let's hop into the first part. So before we hop into the first part of this video, I got an announcement about an upcoming seminar. It's going to be about passive torque. Now the inspiration behind this seminar was a lot of you guys are interested in George Gankis. A lot of you guys are interested in the shallow swing. You guys want to learn about passive torque. Also, you guys want to learn, did George Gankis create this theory? Is it someone else that inspired him? The seminar is going to be answering all of those questions, as well as bringing up an opposing science camp who disagrees with the passive torque idea. I think it's going to be a really interesting seminar. It's specifically for instructors and probably for you advanced golfers out there who are really into kind of the golf theory. But yeah, I think it's going to be a great seminar. Go ahead and check it out. It's going to be a link in the description. Sign up. There's only going to be a few spots. I think like 10 spots per session. I think there's only going to be 2 sessions. So make sure to go sign up and let's hop into the first part now. All right, let's hop into this before and after. So you're going to see a little bit of black in between these 2 screens again. Japanese driving ranges are always on the small side, so I apologize, but bear with me. It's going to be a great analysis. I think you guys are really going to enjoy it. So the first thing I want to highlight is going to be the top of swing position. Now, I think you guys kind of know our preference at this point. Typically, what we see with Japanese golfers is we see this retracted elbow, which is exactly what this player was doing. Let me kind of highlight that real quick. We also tend to see that the club head is getting below the hands at the top of the swing, which means that they have an excessive amount of radial deviation for our preference. And then also if we take a look, the hips really haven't quite churned that much. And really they're in a position to where they can get pretty easily over-rotated possibly. The arm structure is definitely behind them and they have to get rid of a lot of angles because they have so much radial deviation. And they just have to do a lot of motion on the downswing to get into our P6 preferences. So if you guys went to our matchup seminar, you would know we call this a small chance matchup. So let's go take a look at the after swing and kind of show you guys what we changed. So the first thing you're going to notice is that the elbow position is much more in front of the body here. As well, the elbow is definitely in a better position in terms of not being retracted. It's a little bit more externally rotated, which is what our preference is. Now as well, you can't really see it again because it is kind of a, small ranges here in Japan. You can't really see it, but if we kind of would zoom in right up around here, you would have seen the club head, but now the club head is above the hands, right? So he's not getting an excessive amount of radial deviation. So this is pretty much our preference. Also, last thing, I forgot to almost say this, but we can see that we have a little bit of space between the 2 legs now, which means that he's churned the hips a lot more, right? So now he's starting to get into our preference, big full churn, elbows in front, less radial deviation, our preference. Let's see how that changes the downswing, and let's go hop into the next part. So taking a look at the before swing, if we take him down to position 5, the first thing you're going to notice is really the body's not doing a whole lot, right? It's kind of just going along for the ride. The arms are kind of dominating this golf swing. Hand path is a little bit in front for my preference for a draw. This player wanted to hit a little baby draw, so whenever the hands get in line with the sternum, which his is close to being, it's getting close to being a little bit too outward towards the golf ball if you want to hit a draw, but that's really kind of not our preference. Let's before we take a look at the after, let's run you through a little bit more on this before swing, just so you can kind of get an idea of what he's doing. But from position 5 to position 6, we're kind of seeing something that I call as like a early ulnar deviation move, right? Basically, it's the throwing of angles, right? This look right here, which is very prevalent among any amateur golfer from any country that I've seen. Very, very common, right? P5, P6, letting go of angles. You can also see the club head is a little bit behind the hands, more than we would possibly prefer. Also from here, you can see the body's kind of just straight up and down. You really don't see a lot of bend here, right? It's just straight up and down. Didn't get a lot of APT, didn't get a lot of front bend, and he's definitely in a position where we can see some inconsistencies here. Now, coming into impact, the main thing you're going to really take note of is going to be this elbow right here. You can kind of see that it's starting to extend. He's starting to ulnar deviate a little bit more. He's kind of just standing straight up and down. Right through here, we're definitely going to start seeing the right hand overtake, that little flippy release. Not a lot of rotation, right? And then the hands kind of exit high. So Overall, this player had a good amount of stuff in his golf swing to where he was struggling to get down to the next level. His ball striking was definitely the culprit. So let's walk you through what we did from position 4 to position 9, or not 9, position, we'll go position 4 to position 9, show you guys what we changed. All right, so let's actually start from P5 to P6. So remember, old swing, early ulnar deviation move. If we take a look at the new swing now from position 5, we can start seeing that the body is actually starting to kind of lower. It's starting to get a lot more front bend. And then if we get down to position 6, we can see that no more early ulnar deviating move. We also see that the elbow is maintaining its flexion. Also, if you kind of notice here, you can see that he's straight up and down here in his before. A little bit of bend, but not a lot. Now he's starting to get a lot more front bend, and he's starting to get a little bit more knee flexion. Starting to get a little bit more of a squat move going on in his golf swing. And then remember, from position 6 to 7, the elbow's really extending. He's almost straight up and down at this point. Kind of that early extension look. Now as he comes into the golf ball, he's maintaining his front bend. He's also maintaining his knee flexion. Right elbow is maintaining its bend a little bit as well. And then the big change you're going to see is basically from P7 to P8. Before, the right hand used to overtake. Now we're seeing a lot less of that right hand overtaking. And then to top it all off, he's now, if you see before, no really rotation. Now he's starting to rotate and extend and use the ground a little bit more, get a little bit more force and all that good stuff, right? So another classic, typical Japanese top of swing position. Body's not really moving. Ulnar deviating move, extension, flippy, old. Now we're getting obviously a lot more rotation, a little bit more flexion in the chest, and all that good stuff from here. Okay, so what are some takeaways for you guys out there that are watching? I think the biggest takeaway you guys should probably, in terms of this video, is going to be the position 5 to position 6, getting rid of the ulnar deviation move. Essentially what we did in the lesson was we worked on a lot of swings where this player got down to position 6. I wanted him to focus on maintaining his radial deviation, not doing this motion, and then maintaining his arm flexion and not extending early. And we just did a lot of P6 stop and go drills and then stopped at position 8. Now the first part of this stop and go drill, we wanted him to really exaggerate, keep maintaining the elbows bend and the radial deviation, right? So we made him make some funky swings where he swung like this and never extended his arms. Then after he did that for a while, we then started working him into top of swing position stop and goes, getting up to P4, and then repeating it. Then we did 25% speed without stopping, 50%, and then 100, right? And we worked him through the process. So essentially with this player, if his biggest learning point, I think, in the lesson was how much he felt like he had to get low to the ground to maintain the flexion in his elbow. A lot of you guys don't realize how much you got to feel like you got to drop down, especially if you're an early extender, to get into the correct position. So for him, he said he felt like his head was about to hit the ground. That's how low he felt like he got. So the learning point for you guys out there is when you're really struggling to change something, for you to actually change, you need to really, really exaggerate the severity and the amount that you are doing that particular motion, and then you're actually going to start seeing the change, right? So the mindset is to get away from hitting solid shots and is to get back really more so to seeing the correct motion or the correct look on the camera when you're videoing, right? So if you guys can do that, you guys are going to change your swings a lot quicker. If you guys are struggling with that, you got to check out our lessons in Gotana Golf Club in Tokyo, as well as Golf Lab Nagahori in Osaka. Our December lesson schedule is almost sold out. I think we only have 4 spots left in Tokyo, and it's all sold out for Osaka. But we also have January lessons coming out. It's going to be launching here December 12th, I believe, our January lessons. So I don't know, but by the time this video is out, it might have already been launched. So check out the link as well. Check out our Passive Torque seminar. Those spots are going to be going really quick. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time.